Hey everybody, it's Andre Shirdan, and today my guest is Dr. Kris Frazier of Rochelle Family Dentistry in Rochelle, Georgia. And Kris is a long-term friend, and also Kris is a DMD graduate of the Medical College of Georgia. And I asked him to be part of this series because, of all the doctors I get to work with, I love working with people who I can watch and actually see their commitment to their community and their love for their patients. And Kris is one of those kind of guys. And I also love the fact that I love his wife and his son, Lane. And Kris, I don't know if you probably can't see this because my background's kind of faded out. And actually, you can't see it, but up on that shelf is a picture of Lane. And you can't see it. My kids aren't even in my office, but I got a picture of Lane in my office in here. So
that's awesome.
So Kris, welcome, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
I haven't seen you for a couple of years. Oh yeah. You're when I think of the docs who I admire their clinical dedication and their emotional dedication to their work. You're one of those guys. So I really appreciate you doing this with me.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. So you got my 6 questions, and I'm just going to dig in and ask you. Almost everybody has had this sort of fork in the road that we've taken at some point in our lives. And, I figured everybody's got a story to tell. So I wanted you to kind of compare yourself to a fork that you've taken in the road and kind of tell everybody about that.
Well, I've had several, but the one that probably sticks out most to me is when I was 14, I had a really bad accident riding horses. Ended up in the hospital and was there for about 3 months. During that time, they were telling me that they're going to have to amputate my leg. And then they're like, well, you may never walk again, but we're going to be able to save the leg. And then we went through that whole deal. And eventually it was like, you're going to walk, but you won't ever play sports or something like that. And then, and I just kept pushing through, and it made me it taught me not to give up on myself, I guess is where I'm going with it. And that's kind of followed me through life, as far as dental school and everything. If somebody told me that I couldn't do something, I was going to work 10 times harder than anybody else to make sure I proved them wrong.
That's great. And that is exactly where I keep finding these stories coming to is, we can all look back at something and find out that challenge made us better people. And that makes all the difference in the world. It makes you a better dad, and makes everybody who comes in contact with you a better person. So I can appreciate that, man. I didn't know that story about you. So that's a good one. So the next question I have for you is question 2 is, what book should everyone be reading, and really reading over and over again?
I thought about this one long and hard. And I think it's the Bible, to be honest with you. I mean, God can lead us in different directions. And I kind of feel like that's where the fork in the road, it's kind of ironic that you came to me with that title of this podcast or discussion, is because, if you let him lead you, he ain't going to steer you wrong. So that was, to me, I think the more you read, the more you learn, and the more you grow.
Yeah. And I always say, there's a reason why it's in every single hotel in the country,
Exactly.
There's a reason, so every fork that you take on the road, there's something that you can learn at that fork too. So, but that's a good one. It's a good choice and a sound choice. So now give me 1 or 2 for question 3. Give me 1 or 2 of your favorite quotes that you live by.
It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And John Templeton wrote that. He's a philanthropist and an investor. And it's just, you want to do unto others as others, you'd want them to do unto you. And those 2 quotes to me just kind of, it puts off a positive vibe, especially like in the office or, in your social groups and stuff. And the more positivity, that's what this world needs right now, is more positivity. I mean, you turn on the news and it's nothing but negative. So I just quit watching it. But those 2 things, if you're nice to people, it's going to come back to you, because nice brings out niceness in others. And that's just my 2 personal favorite quotes.
Yeah. And that's an awesome one. I could see that hanging over your desk. That's a good one. Yeah, well, I love it. So now here's a couple of rapid fire ones. So question number 4 is, what high tech thing? So it's got to have a plug or battery. Can't you live without?
My cell phone. It runs my life. It has my schedule. It has everything, all my finances. I mean, I can pretty much check. My cell phone pretty much dictates my life because I'll use it daily to figure out where I need to be and when I need to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to look and figure out where mine was. It's sitting over there. It's not where it's supposed to be. So that's how bad I don't want mine ever away from me. So cell phones are the thing, man. And now how about this? What's the low tech thing that you can't live without?
A toothbrush. I've only had one cavity in my whole life, and I was over 40 before I got it. So, I mean, I'm a stickler about my toothbrush.
Okay, now here's a big question that's in dentistry. Okay, so what brand toothbrush is it?
Sonicare.
Now, see, that's got a battery, but I'm going to let you slide on that one. But that's a good one. And everybody should learn that lesson, But then we'd be out of business in a lot of parts of the way. So,
that's true. That is true.
Yeah, so don't tell everybody about that, but that's a good one. Yeah. All right, now, so let's go back to the beginning and let's talk about question 6, which is, if you went back to that fork in the road, and what would you tell yourself? What would you whisper in your own ear if you went back to that fork in the road before you had your accident?
Never give up. And if you're big star bound, let me tell you, it's a long, hard ride.
Yeah, this is true. And I keep thinking back on all the different forks in the road that I've taken, because I've taken a number of them. And I think if I could whisper back in my ear, I realize, what? It probably wouldn't have helped me because I wouldn't have listened. But I realize now that the lessons I learned from other people, or the lessons I should have listened to, my own advice wouldn't have worked. But that's a good one. Yeah. So here's one that, now I always have to throw this question in because I didn't prepare you for this, but I'm going to ask you a question and just see where it goes. But it's an easy one. So Kris is who he is today because of hard work or luck?
I would say hard work and a little bit of luck.
Yeah. Just a sprinkle of luck on there, right?
Just a sprinkle of luck, but it was a lot of hard work.
Yeah. And you work hard, man. You're one of the hardest working guys I know. And, as many practices I go in around the country, I talk about, great management, great technique, great customer service with patients. And, your name comes up all the time when I'm talking about different practices. And you're a hardworking guy. And I really appreciate working with you. So this has been a lot of fun. And those were easy questions, weren't they?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad at all.
Well, thanks for doing this, and give the family a big hug for me, and I'll be talking to you real soon.
Sounds great. I appreciate it, Andre.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Take care.